Hi everyone and welcome back to another episode of MotoGP 20 here on this channel. This is part number 23 of my career walkthrough. Right guys, in today's episode we head to Argentina for the next race, but before we do that let's have a look at the development. Now we have got an upgrade on the engine but haven't got any more development points to do the next one. We've done 2 on the frame and we've actually got 1 on the anti-wheelie, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, is going to benefit us today. But let's get straight into today's race. I'm really looking forward to this one. I do like Argentina, and plus I might be doing a video soon to give you some tips about how I set up the bikes. Let me know in the comments below if that's something you want to see. Right, so here we go with our first experience around Argentina on the Moto2 bike, and this free practice session is in perfect weather conditions, so I'm hoping to really test this bike out and get some good practice laps in. Now this is going to be an 8-lap race, so it's all going to be about consistency, having the right tyres and the right setup. So let's see how this bike handles. Right, so we've got to achieve a 144.1 for this development test, and it's always well worth doing these tests to really test out the bike. And let's see how it handles. Slowly open. Oh, maybe not like that. Oh, we just left the brake in a little bit late, but we should. Oh no, squeezing on the power too early, and that happens. There you go. Oh, so Luke has just put in a better time of a 141.9, so it looks like he's settling into a nice rhythm in this free practice session. Let's see if we can finish off this development test before we can really start pushing this bike. But we are starting to get the hang of it now. And, oh god, keep that front wheel down. I must admit, the anti-wheelie system does feel a little bit better. Still not perfect, but we're managing to put the power down a little bit better. Let's be careful through here. See if we can finish off this lap, and much better at sector 3, which is good. It's that final corner. Oh god, we've really overrun it there. It was understeering a little bit, and again trying to get good on the brakes, get right tight onto the apex, and this turn is always tricky. Flip it over and power out, and there we go. Not as quick as our teammate, but I'll take it. Trying to get up the inside of Fernandez there, wasn't good enough, but trying to keep a tight line on the apex there. Oh, that was a nice corner. Really starting to push this bike now. Let's see if we can sort of match our teammate. I mean, he's just put in a 141.089, so he's definitely going to be the one to beat in today's qualifying session. So we've still got over 23 minutes. Again, just letting it go a little bit too early and trying to put the power down. That seems to be the one thing that I'm struggling on, but hopefully with a bit more practice, and we've got plenty of time, we will start to get used to it. It's all about practicing on these bikes, and that's not too bad. That was a nice smooth run, but again, just opening the throttle a little bit too early there, just getting a little bit too much for wheeling. That does really slow you down. Right, so we're 0.6 down. But this is still our development test, so I'm not worrying about lap times just yet. And again, got to try not to push it too hard. And it's going to be a really tough test on the tyres as well. I think at this moment in time, in these conditions, it looks like it might be a case of going with a hard front and a hard rear. But I'll make that decision at the end. I've still got plenty of time to put more laps in. Again, still wanting to just pull over to the right there. To tweak the setup for that and slow it down. Let's try and get tight in. No, we've got a little bit wider than I would have liked there, but as long as we can just get it, the power down over the line, and that is the development test over. Right, so we end the free practice session with a smile on our face. I really enjoyed that. I put in some half decent laps. Our fastest time was a 141.6, and we were only the 7th fastest. We're going to have to find some more time in the actual qualifying session. Luke Marini, our teammate, up there at the top, and he is the one to beat. So let's get straight into the qualifying and see if we can find some more time. So let's get straight into it. Right, time to put in my first qualifying lap, and Baldassari has just put in a 141.6. So that's the benchmark that we've got to meet early on in the session, but I think it will get quicker as we go on. So let's try and just, bloody hell. It's the only thing when you come out for your first lap, the tyres are still not up to temperature. And and generally it's the second lap you really start to put in a faster time. So we're down at sector 1, not the strongest sector for me. Let's see if we can make it up on this corner. Slow it down. That is not too bad. Smooth on the throttle, keep that front wheel down, and oh, that was much better. See, I'm starting to gain a little bit more control. Still slightly down at sector 2. Let's see if we can get a bit tighter into the apex here. Slow it down. Oh, that is exactly where you want. Again, oh no, screwed it up. I was going to say, almost had it the wheel down. Let's put the power down, and again, this one, drop it in, back off the throttle, and slowly open it, change direction, and that wasn't too bad. And oh, look at that, up at sector 3. So that's where we're going to find the time. Sector 3 seems to be a strong sector for us. Now, final corner, can I do it? Come on, let's get ourselves a time on the board which is actually competitive, and put Baldassarri to shame, and across the line, and we take pole for now, but will it stand? And we're up at sector 3. Can we beat our teammate Marco? Has just set that 140.2. Right, final bend. We've got to nail this. Is this going to be pole? But there's still just over 3 minutes to go, so there's still time. And keep control. Turn it over and over the line. Yes! We've got pole position at this stage with a 140.2, but will it stand? Final seconds, and we are still in pole position. But look how close the times are. Oh my dear Lord, this is going to be such a close race. There's not much between the top 5. And I only just beat Marco by 0.006. That is insane.
Welcome to the Thrustmaster Hondo circuit in Argentina for live coverage of the Moto2 race. As you can tell from the footage, we're broadcasting from the track. We're looking forward to great weather for the race.
Right, so here we go with the start of the race in Argentina. So this is going to be 8 laps, and this is going to be a real challenge. Now, I've gone with a hard. I think that's the best option to go with in these conditions, but the times were so close between the top 5. This is going to be a really testing first lap. I've got to start really well with Baldassarri and my teammate Marco on the front with the inside line. I've got to try and keep that power down, the front wheel down, and try and get into that first corner. Now, I'll put it in power 2. Let's see if we can start off okay. Bit of a stutter there, front wheels up a little bit, but can we just get the power down? We've managed to do that, and we've managed just to pull away. So that is a brilliant start. We've just overrun that first corner, and someone's already gone down already. Be careful, I don't want to be kicked off like I did in free practice. I just come off a couple of times just to power out a little bit too early with the cold tyres. Now it's going to take a little bit longer to get used to these hard options, so we need to take 2 nice steady laps, but this has been a brilliant start. I was expecting a little bit more from my teammate at the start, but it's Luca Marini that's in second at the moment, so we've got to be careful. So let's just try and take a nice line into this corner. Steady as you go. Oh, bit of contact from my own teammate. My rider was not happy with that. That was a real scare there. Luckily I didn't come off, but that was definitely not. I don't think it was intentional, but he needs to sort out his braking markers into that corner. And again, let's just try and hold it through here. Just finding that the tyres are feeling a little bit less grippy, so I don't want to push too hard too soon. But we have just extended a bit of a breathing space, so just over half a second early on this first lap. But they soon will get up to speed. I think a lot of them were on different tyre options as well, so they might find their grip a little bit earlier than me and start putting in those times onto the curb. And that is the first lap out of the way, so that was a 1:42. Nice steady start, and we got Baldassarri sitting in second place. And I think Luca might have dropped down a few places after making that little bit of impact with me. And I'll take it as you know, teammates trying to push each other teammates. I'm not going to take it personal, but he could have ended my race really early. Just try and keep it steady through here again. On lap 2. Hopefully on this lap we will start to feel a little bit more grip in the corners. And we can really start putting the power down and put in some really fast laps. Right, let's just slow it down into this turn. Oh, a flipping hell! Baldassarri's just done exactly what Luca Marini did, but he's not finished. Oh my God, they're so aggressive in the turns. You give them any chance to get close to you, they will just plough into you. That is a major issue. And again, Baldassarri getting very close into that turn. But Marco is up to speed as well. I think he's in 3rd behind Baldassarri. Hopefully he can overtake, because I'm hoping that Marco won't do the same. But bloody hell. This has been a tricky start so far. And luckily, twice we've been hit that we haven't been taken out. But yeah, we might not be lucky the 3rd time. So let's just try and pull away a bit, because I can't take this. It's making me very anxious into the corners. So you're sort of waiting for it, and Marini's just put in a 142.034, and it's just been beaten straight away, a 141.9. So we are not running the quickest at the moment, but we're just holding the lead. Maybe these hard tyres might have not been the right option to go with. They're just not. I don't feel like they're as quick as the others at the moment. I'm struggling. I need to get into a better rhythm, I think. Right, so here we go again. Is it going to be a 3rd time? And it's a Baldassarri again. Is he going to give us another shunt in this corner? Let's see if we can go a bit tighter this time. Right onto the apex. It's nice and smooth. Oh, that was much better. And we didn't have anyone shoving us up the rear. Really starting to pull away here. We need to get closer to the apex again through here. God, the rear was sort of sliding there, but it doesn't. I don't mind a bit of a slide as long as it's controllable. Nice and smooth on the throttle through here, and that was nicely done. And we have just extended our lead slightly, so we're starting to push now, which is good, and we're on lap 3. We're not even halfway there yet, but things are going okay. We're still sitting in 1st place. Oh God, that's going to cost us a bit of time, and that's our fastest lap at 141.8, which is still not as quick. Navarro's just put in a 141.7. I'm expecting the times to get quicker as the session goes on. We will try and manage that fuel as well. So being an 8-lap race, I was sort of thinking maybe not use power 2 so much until the end, so I can really push it at the end if I need to. It's much better through that section. And this is where they're going to catch. I don't have the straight line speed yet, so the engine has only got 1 upgrade, so Baldassarri will have the edge over me on the straight. So let's just be a bit later on the brakes in the turn. We know we have to be as tight as possible through there. That's not too bad. So all our teammates has just overtaken Baldassarri. So we've got our teammate behind us. So it's going to be hopefully good points for the Sky team again. And that's all good early on in this career. And we've got some tricky rounds coming up. We've got Spain next, which is always a tricky circuit. Nicely done through there. Oh, this has been a consistent run so far, but we're not pulling away. I mean, I always think half a second's not really a lead, because just with one mistake that can be swallowed up. 2-3 seconds is more what you need to feel a little bit more comfortable. And again, wasn't too bad through there, and that is a much better time. But every time we put in a faster time, the guys behind us are putting faster times in. So That's the only difference. They've got slipstream, I haven't. All I've got is fresh air in front of me. So we're on lap 5. We've just overrun that turn a little. Be careful. Just trying to correct my mistake with power, and that's not always the best way. And that will give them opportunity to close in a bit. And yes, 0.3, and they're in my slipstream now. So this is where you go, oh, Baldassarri into second with an overtake. Nope, Marco overtook Baldassarri. So there's a bit of a battle going on behind us, which is sort of helping us. Oh, just saw someone come in behind there. God, there is such a battle. Shame you don't have a personal manager doing the cameras flicking through that you could save as well, that you could add to your videos with a bit of real commentary from the real MotoGP commentators. That would be awesome. Something that I think they should add to the game. And again, that wasn't too bad through there. What is the gap? Oh, Marini's back in the fight. So both our teammates are pushing hard behind us and keeping Baldassarri away from more points. So I think he is going to be the biggest test in our career. I think he seems to be very strong. And Marini, oh, Marini putting a 141.2, so our teammate is pushing now. That's not what we want. We've got 1, 2 and 3 at the moment. We need to start finding some time from somewhere. And that was a little bit better through there. Be careful. Nice and tight on the apex there. And my challenge today is not to get any penalties. We've got quite a few in the last round. I'm trying to avoid to get any in today's race. Let's try and be a bit tighter on here. Again, that was not too bad. We've been really good on the corners today. Much better. Starting to really get used to this Moto2 bike. And I just think we just need to add a bit more power. It's the frame, you know, is good. It turns in nicely. The brakes aren't too bad, but it's just that initial acceleration and top end. You can really see the difference between the other bikes, especially in the qualifying session. It's really nice and tight through there. Trying to concentrate. Oh my God, Marini is. Oh God, here he is. Oh, don't panic, don't panic. I knew he was there. I could hear him coming. And our teammate Marini is pushing hard. Right, let's be careful in this. And he's... Oh, what are you trying to do? You can't squeeze through there. Thought he was going to run us off then. Right, into lap 7. And we are under pressure. So, we've got to start pushing now. We're going to have to find some extra time. Otherwise, I think our teammate Marini is going to be passed. He is running the fastest at the moment. He's got the bit between his teeth. He wants to be top dog in the Sky team. So let's just try and keep tight through there. Again, trying to push it as much as I can. I've just edged away. But he closes in so quickly. So we need to find some extra through these turns. Come on, we can do this. And tight, 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 tight. Oh, no, no, I thought I had it. I thought it was smooth until I just obviously just powered out too much. Get too excited. Right, slow it down again. Smooth, 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 smooth. Oh, that was better. Right, and again. Let's keep it smooth through here. Not too bad, I'll take that. And Marini is still half a second behind us. And we're flipping out. I think the rear is starting to slowly lose its grip. But it's time to go in Power 2 mode in a minute. And we've really overshot that corner. That is not what you want. Oh my God, that could have been. And that was another 151. So we're being consistent, but we're not hitting the fastest times. Right, power 2 time. We've got to start pulling away. We don't want to go into those final corners with Marini right behind us. And that was nicely done. This is the test. Final lap. And again, oh, look at that. Perfect line. Can we nail this as well? Just hold it. Oh, nicely done again. Just finding that little bit extra, and this is what we need. So it's still only half a second, but we are really pushing hard. Hopefully this will be our best lap, putting it in when we need it. And again, and just try not to muck it up this time. And there you go. I can do it. I can do it, learning from my mistakes. And still half a second. But if we can just nail this one as well, that would be great. And slowly, 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 slowly. And, oh God, because now we've got more power, we've got to be careful. And we need a good run through here as well. And just control that front wheel. Oh, this is going to be a good lap. Is this? And we've just pulled away 0.8. Oh, this is the way to respond. Final lap, and we're really pushing as hard as we can. Right, we've just got to nail this final corner. That's not been it here. And that's not as tight as I would like. But as long as we can just turn it over and power to the line. And there we go. There we go. I don't think... I'm not sure, was that the fastest lap? No, it wasn't the fastest lap, but it was our fastest lap. Very, very good performance. Really enjoyed that. Now let's have a look at some of the replays, because there were some moments in there that really, really were brilliant. So let's get straight into it. Right, so let's have a look at the start of the race, and it was a half decent start. Managed to put the power down, get into that first corner. I think there was only one issue on that first corner. There was one crash, but I don't think it was any of the top riders, all the ones that put the fastest times in. And it was a good start overall, and we managed to get into a decent rhythm. The only issue we had, obviously, was into this corner when Luca Marini just bumped into us. I'm taking that as a mistake, but it did happen quite a few times, but not just by him. And again on this corner, but this was Baldassarri, and I think he really tried to push through there and just ran into me. Again, I'm not taking that as on purpose, but he was really pushing hard, and I really did need Luca and Marco coming to the rescue and battling with him, because he was really on it. And I thought if he kept on applying those sort of tactics, there would be a time when he probably was going to wipe me out. And here we go again, another awesome corner, and we were really being put under pressure here. And I think overall I got a hang of the bike better towards the end of the race once the tyres bedded in. Right, so that is the rider standing. So we're 19 points ahead of Baldassarri and 24 ahead of Luca Marini, our teammate, in third. So that is good. Now we're on 110 points, 51 ahead of second. And I think having two really decent teammates is going to be the key for us to get the team championship this time round. We've just got to stay consistent. And I think that is the reason why I won today. It wasn't because I was the fastest, because I think Luca Marini was quicker than me, lap times wise. I think consistency. Now, in the first 5 or 6 laps, I didn't try and push it. I know sometimes when you start a race, you try and push really hard at the beginning to get a lead. I don't think that was the key today. I think staying consistent and then pushing right at the end was the way to go, and that's eventually is what I think won me the race today. And hopefully that is the way to go. I mean, I didn't do too much on the setup as well. I didn't try and change too much, although I do think setups are very key on this game, and I will do a video if you want me to do about the way I do setups, because I do think the game gives you a lot of key information, and it's not always about the setups you put in. Sometimes you have circuits that you know good around anyway, so it doesn't matter what setup you put in, but I will get into that in the video. But overall it was a very good test today, and I think maybe in the future I might do more of the free practice, because I think I do need to put in more quality laps and get more practice in. But let's have a look at the development. We have got some points to spend now, so we have got another upgrade on the frame, so I think now it's time to concentrate on the engine. It's something that I said earlier on in the video that I lack: acceleration, top end. But the problem is, you add more power sometimes that can add more problems, but it's something you have to balance out. But these games, this is why I like career mode. It's all about learning. It's not about just getting on the bike and being the fastest, this, that and the other. You've got to learn all the different, I mean, every bike is different, so depending on what team bike that you're with. Not everyone upgrades the same things, not everyone uses the same setups. It's very, very different. Like Formula 1, sometimes it's not always about the fastest car, it's all about how you set up, how you practice, and just your mindset. Right, so in the next episode we go to Spain, and hopefully that will be another test. I'm sure it will be. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you very, very soon.